My friends, the Brazilian activist Thiago Ávila has just had his pretrial detention extended in Israel. Today, Tuesday, a court in the city of Ashkelon decided that he will remain detained until Sunday, May 10th, and the charges are serious. I'll explain everything to you in a moment, but first, let me tell you what else has happened in the last few hours, since our last live. Trump gave a long statement and demanded Iran's surrender. The Iranians made a new threat about the Strait of Hormuz. Israel has become in the last few weeks a giant airbase. You'll understand why very soon. And Israel has just received an official request from Germany for aviation fuel because of the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. That completely changes the geopolitical outlook. Here on the channel, we put the pieces together like we've always done, and today I'm going to show you a new picture. Stay with me until the end, live from Israel, right from where everything happens. Let's get started. Let's start here with the case of Thiago Ávila. I'll give you a quick context here for those who didn't follow. Thiago Ávila was on that flotilla that tried to break the Israeli naval blockade of Gaza last week. The flotilla was intercepted near the island of Crete. Most of the activists were released in Greece, but Thiago Ávila and the Spaniard Saif Keshik were taken to Israel. And why only these two? Because according to the Israeli authorities, they were leading figures in the flotilla, and because there was enough material to suspect a connection with an organization called PCPA, which is an organization that Israel and the United States consider a front for Hamas. The charges against Thiago Ávila include aiding the enemy in time of war, contact with a foreign agent, contact with terrorist elements, and other crimes related to terrorism. The defense denies everything, and here I need to be honest with you. The investigation is still ongoing, there is no conviction, there is suspicion and preventive detention. But the case is important for several reasons. First, it shows that Israel is taking any attempt to break the naval blockade of Gaza seriously, especially at this moment, with tensions with Iran reignited. Second, it shows that there are active legal tools against organizations that Israel and the Americans identify as fronts for Hamas. Third, it raises an important question. If Thiago Ávila really has ties to an organization linked to Hamas, how did he become a public figure in Brazil without anyone properly investigating this? And I promise you, I will keep following this case closely. Next chapter, Trump spoke, and he spoke a lot. I'm going to read to you here the main statements Trump made in the last few hours without interruption in the order they came. Quote, Iran wants to make a deal. What I don't like about Iran is that they talk to me with so much respect. And then they go on Iranian television and say, we don't talk to the president. They're playing games. They should raise the white flag of surrender. Iran doesn't stand a chance, never did, and they know it. They expressed that to me when I talked to them. The regime in Iran is made up of mentally ill people. We will not allow madmen to get nuclear weapons. We're having a small military confrontation. Iran doesn't stand a chance and never did. Our naval blockade against Iran is like a block of steel. Iran is now trying to survive. We're doing well on the Iranian issue. Our priority is national security. The rise in oil prices is a very small price compared to preventing Iran from getting nuclear weapons. We have completely destroyed Iran's army. Every ship they had is now resting at the bottom of the sea. The Iranian Navy has been reduced to small boats with machine guns on the front. Hold on with all that vocabulary. Block of steel, completely destroyed army, white flag, mentally ill people. That kind of vocabulary isn't from someone seeking peace, it's from someone demanding surrender. And according to what's being reported on the channels, Trump also mentioned a hefty figure. He said that 111 missiles were fired by Iran at an American aircraft carrier during Operation Epic Fury, and all of them were intercepted. That number gives the real dimension of the confrontation that happened in February and March and shows the American defensive capability. And the blockade numbers confirm that this isn't just talk. The American Central Command announced today that 51 merchant ships have already been redirected by the American blockade since April 13th. 51 ships that were trying to enter or leave Iranian ports and were forced to turn back. And look at the financial impact on Iran. The Pentagon estimates that the blockade is costing Iran $500 million per day, and by May 1st, Iran had already lost between $4 billion and $8 billion in oil revenue. Almost $5 billion in just 18 days. The Iranian economy was already in crisis before all of this. inflation above 40 in 2025, internal protests, and maximum American sanctions. And now, with another 5 billion lost in 18 days, the regime is being suffocated. That's why Trump talks about a white flag. And the next chapter, an extremely important piece of news came from Axios. Check this out. Trump may order the resumption of the war as early as this week if the diplomatic stalemate continues. This week, folks. And remember that yesterday, CNN sources said that American or Israeli attacks against Iran were expected within the next 24 hours. We're still within that time frame. Today, the Axios source extends the deadline to this week. That means the diplomatic window is still open, but only for the next few days. And the next chapter, the Iranians have responded. The commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy issued a new warning. Look at what he said. To all vessels intending to cross the strait, we warn that the only safe route for passage through the Strait of Hormuz is the corridor previously designated by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Any vessel that deviates to other routes will be considered unsafe and will face a firm response from the Revolutionary Guard Navy. Translating this for you, Iran is saying, there is a corridor that we approve. Whoever uses this corridor can pass. Whoever uses the American corridor of Operation Freedom will be attacked. This is a direct challenge to American authority. And at the same time, the spokesperson for the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said something different. Quote, if the Americans are really serious about diplomacy, they should take the opportunity. End quote. Look at Iran's two-faced game. On one side, military threats. Anyone who deviates will become a target. On the other side, diplomatic openness. There's an opportunity. It's exactly the same two-handed game as Trump. Each side showing threats and openness at the same time. I think this video already deserves your like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and turn on the notification bell. And share this video too. Send it to your family group. Send it to Trump's group. Stay tuned. The next part is where things escalate. Let's go back. Next chapter, and this one is the most interesting of all. Israel has become a giant air base in recent days. I'll explain. The Israeli army in all commands is on maximum alert. The commander of the Israeli Air Force said today, in his own words, listen, open quotes, we are closely monitoring what is happening in Iran, and we are ready to deploy the entire Air Force to the east, if requested. Close quotes, the entire Air Force to the east. East means Iran. And the Chief of Staff of the Israeli Defense Forces added open quotes. The army's readiness is high. We are ready to respond with force to any attempt to harm Israel. Close quotes, fighter jets positioned, troops on maximum alert, Northern Command active, Central Command active, air defense on full alert. Israel is not waiting. Israel is positioned. The largest concentration of air power in decades is currently over Israeli territory, ready to act. For those who understand, few words are enough. Next story, and this one changes everything. Israel has just received an official request from Germany. Germany requested aviation fuel. I repeat, Israel will export aviation fuel to Germany. The Israeli Ministry of Energy confirmed that there are, in their words, production surpluses available for export. And the Israeli Foreign Minister, Gideon Sa'ar, communicated this to the German Minister of Economy. And there's more. Israel will also consider the possibility of helping Germany with natural gas. Let me give you the context. Europe imports about 75% of its aviation fuel, and it comes from the Middle East through the Strait of Hormuz. With the strait closed, Europe started running out of fuel. Italian airports in Bologna, Milan, and Venice are already rationing. Airlines are canceling flights. Scandinavian SAS has cancelled more than 1,000 flights. And the price of aviation fuel in Europe has gone up 95% in a few weeks. The International Energy Agency has warned that Europe has enough fuel for about 6 weeks. After that, flights will stop. And today, the German foreign minister spoke openly about the crisis. And look at what he said, open quotes. The war in Iran and the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz are being felt in Germany and Europe. I have to say, it's affecting us seriously. You can see it at gas stations, in airline ticket prices, and in revenue. Our citizens feel the crisis in their own pockets. End quote. And in the same statement, he announced something else extremely important. Quote, we are entering a new stage of partnership with Israel in the area of security. Let's pause there, folks, so you can understand. New stage of partnership with Israel in security. Today, Germany is publicly announcing a new stage of security partnership. Because of whom? Because of Iran. Remember that I said in the previous video that Iran threatened Europe? That figures connected to the supreme leader Mustafa said they could attack Europe the same way they did with the Arab countries. So today Europe is asking Israel for fuel to keep their planes flying, and Israel agreed. This is the turning point on the map. Now let's go to my analysis. Here on the channel, as I've said before, I put the pieces together like I've always done. And today, the pieces form a very clear picture. And look at what happened in the last few hours. Trump threatened Iran. He demanded a white flag, gave a deadline, and according to Axios sources, he could order the resumption of fighting as soon as this week. Israel has become a giant airbase, ready to act, and now it also exports fuel to Germany to make up for what no longer arrives from the Persian Gulf because of the Iranian blockade. The Israeli Iron Dome is deployed in the United Arab Emirates, defending Arab civilians for the first time in history. Lebanon is going to Washington to negotiate directly with Israel. Hamas in Cairo refused to disarm. Israel may resume the operation in Gaza at any moment. Pakistan, the mediator between the United States and Iran, publicly condemned the Iranian attack on the Emirates. The Iranian regime is publicly threatening Europe. All of this, my friends, happened in the last few hours. And look who won throughout this whole week. Israel. Israel in just 1 week became a central piece in global geopolitics, not just in the Middle East. Defending the United Arab Emirates with the Iron Dome, negotiating with Lebanon in Washington, and pressuring Hamas in Gaza. Coordinating the offensive with Trump in the Strait of Hormuz, exporting jet fuel to Germany, this is the master's game. Trump isn't just surrounding Iran. Trump is reorganizing the global system. Around whom? Around Israel. And Iran. What did Iran gain this week? It lost credibility. It made threats and didn't follow through. Does anyone remember yesterday's threat? It lost the United Arab Emirates for good. It lost control of the narrative. The Americans called the regime an aggressor. Trump calls it mentally ill. And Iran remains under blockade. The economy is in free fall. Protests are already starting slowly. And to wrap up, I'm not going to make any categorical statements. Everything still depends on Iran's reaction and Trump's decision. But there's one thing I can tell you. The next few days will be decisive. And as the diplomatic window closes, Israel is quietly positioning itself. I'll keep following every move, straight from Israel, right where everything is happening. Hugs to all my friends, and see you in the next live stream.